So that's the recap of the season for up to today. That took me 20 minutes. Holy fetch. 20 minutes to do that, man. So this video is going to be 20 minutes because I like to do it in the segments. And so it's going to be like 5 videos or something like that. I'll talk about Mike Conley's impact next. I can't stress enough when he came here how excited I was and how disappointed I got right off the bat. Because here's the thing, Mike Conley was supposed to be this guy that helped us get to like a championship level. And he started out and really didn't do it. He really struggled in Mike Conley's, in Quinn Snyder's system, which again, it's a hard system to learn. It's a hard balance to learn because what he figured out this year is that he doesn't need the ball to freaking have an impact all the time. The dude is playing so well, and he's actually 4th in importance for any player in the NBA. Like, he is that important to the Utah Jazz. He's the most important guy on the team, according to those stats. And an interesting thing, it's not just the offensive side of the ball. David Locke, I listened to his podcast. Look, say what you will about him. I think Locke knows what he's talking about. There's an average defensive rating of like 110 that you get in the NBA. I think it's like the starting defensive rating you get when you're like ranking teams. I can't remember if it was Rudy or if it was freaking Mike Conley. But, okay, so you start at 110 and you want to go lower, right? I think it was Rudy Gobert with 82.5 or something like that defensive rating, which is insane. It's the best in the NBA. And then you have Mike Conley Jr., he has like 85 point something. 85. And this is not just like pick and roll defense. This is just his defensive rating. Like, that's crazy to me. That he has that much of an impact, not only offensively, but defensively as well. The guy, he's important to the Jazz. I can't stress enough how important he is. He's opening up lanes for Donovan. He's getting him the ball where he needs to. He's knocking down threes, walking up like it's nothing. It's just been crazy to watch, and I'm super happy for the guy because everybody ragged on him. Everybody's like, let's trade him, and we still get it today. Listen, I don't want to hear no more, let's get Kyle Lowry, let's get this, and this for him. No. Every player and every draft pick that we traded for Mike Conley was worth it for the playoffs and for what he's doing this year. Worth it, 100%. Okay? The guys that were on the team before were super inconsistent, never had like these crazy nights where he could just, he was great, but could have like a 30-point night if he wanted to. Unless it was like a rare moon and the planets lined up. So, I mean, like, look, man, I get that there's a lot of good players. I miss Jay Crowder as much as probably anybody else does. But to have this on the team, get rid of anybody you need to, except Donovan and Rudy, of course. But like, get rid of anybody you need to. He's that important to the Jazz to me. And we're not going to make a championship run without him. So, there you go. That's my take on Mike Conley's impact. And I just think, dude, really, if we're looking at it, not just defensive-wise, not just offense-wise, just all around, he is that important to the Jazz. So, that's how I'm going to end it. Again, I'm blathering on because I haven't done this for a while, so I apologize. And let's talk about Donovan Mitchell becoming a superstar. Look, a lot of people are saying he's not a superstar. He is. Like, people are just like, he's not elite. He's not all that. Okay, I'm not saying he's elite, dude. Like, I personally do not feel like you have to be an elite player to be a superstar. You don't. The stat lines that I read to you, and especially like last night, there is a stat that shows that Donovan Mitchell and Gordon Hayward are the only 2 players in Jazz history to get 35 points, have 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in the same game. Donovan Mitchell has done that like 5 times. He's done it multiple times in multiple seasons. Gordon Hayward did it once. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Not only is his assists really good for a guard at 6'1", like an off-ball guard who's not always passing the ball, but his rebounding is really good for a guard his size. Like, the thing about it is like, if you look at the rebounds, everybody's trying to rebound better this year. Everybody is. Like, you could just kind of tell when the shots go up that everybody's going for the rebound. But Donovan Mitchell especially. But he's always been doing that. Because he's always talking about, like, he needs to improve on his rebounding and his assists and everything. And I think he's gotten to that point. If you look up the stats, I looked up this crazy stat last night on Stat News. Donovan Mitchell and the late, great Kobe Bryant are almost identical offensive stat-wise in the playoffs. So, you know, he's there, man. He's there. I think, I'm going to be real, I think he's taken that step. Like, he almost outdueled one of the best shooting players in the NBA in Jamal Murray, which it should have happened, but, you know, we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna forget about that. But he almost did it. And he's the fourth youngest player, I think fourth youngest or youngest player to score 50 points in a playoff game. And he is the fourth highest playoff game in scoring with 57 points. Which, again, like, scoring is one thing, but he does affect other stats. And we're going to get into that a little bit more when I get to the Shaq comments thing that kind of opened up. Look, he's a star. Rudy Gobert, he's a star. Like they're superstars. Like, Donovan Mitchell affects the offense. And yes, defensively, he has played much better defense this year. I'm not saying it's going to keep up, but it's like, dude, he's becoming that two-way player he's been saying he's wanted to become. So it's like anybody who doesn't say he's not becoming a star, in my opinion, or isn't a star, like, don't even talk to me. Like, he has become that. He has become that and then more. And he's worth that $195 million. Like, even at the beginning of the year, he would struggle, but he would still get his stats. Like, last year, he would struggle and just disappear. Now he's getting his stats. The Denver Nuggets game, he struggled so bad in the first half. And it's like, dude, we're still only down by 5. This is just how great this Jazz team is. And then he comes in, 8 points in the third. 8 points in the fourth, has 2 huge shots. Jamal Murray disappeared in the second half. Stars don't disappear in the second half. Sorry, like, if you're, or the fourth quarter, if you're really serious that he's not a star, he's there in the fourth quarter and the second half most every game. And he's always getting his numbers. It's consistent. It is consistent that I know Donovan's going to show up at some point in the game, especially in the second half. So there you go with that. Jordan Clarkson, his importance. Just the fact that he comes in and boom, a 3 goes in automatically is just enough. But like I said before, I think this guy plays harder than anybody on the court. Defensively, offensively, he plays so hard however many minutes he's given. His motor doesn't frickin' stop. I don't know how we played 15 games. He's not tired. Like, in game, like before the game now. Because he plays so hard. He's diving on the floor for balls. He's attacking the rim when he needs to. Like, I think he slows down a little bit offensively because he's taking his time to get his shots. But defensively, holy. Like, he's active. Like, even if this guy's beating him, he's active in what he's doing. He's getting steals. Last night, he got a steal off an inbound play when the Jazz scored and got fouled. Like, that, to me, like, this is probably going to be the shortest segment of this entire thing. And I might just make it, like, Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson's video. But, like, dude, he is so impactful just because of the fact that he plays so hard. Like honestly, yeah, he scores a lot, but what I notice is that most every time we're on defense, he's active. He's trying to stay in front of his guy. And when he gets beat, he's trying his best to recover and get back to the guy. So, I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see players playing hard. Like, you don't see players playing hard all the time. But you see Jordan Clarkson playing hard. You see him playing hard, and it affects the whole team. Like, if the Jazz are struggling so bad, there have been times where the Jazz have struggled in the 7-game win streak, and they just put Jordan Clarkson in, and that energy is so contagious that the Jazz just freaking demolish. It's just incredible to watch. I love Jordan Clarkson. I love what he's doing. He's an amazing player.